Hey guys, it's me Arihead, and today we're going to be talking about the popular platform fighter Multiversus. I've been putting tons of hours into this game, and it's been a blast so far. And now that the Multiversus open beta has been out for a while, players have a greater understanding of the current 1v1 metagame, which is constantly evolving. Now, of course, I'm only in the top 10k at the moment, but as a former professional Smash Bros. Player, I have a pretty good understanding of what makes a character good. So, let's dive in and discuss our rankings, shall we? Characters at the top tend to have a strong neutral state, which is when both characters are neither at advantage or disadvantage. Possessing a strong neutral means you can more easily gain advantage against your opponent. Good characters also tend to kill easily, whether it's through a kill confirm combo, attacks that are difficult to evade, or setups. Basically, we'll be examining each character's viability in Multiversus relative to how they perform in the current metagame. Starting at the bottom in C tier is Garnet. There's a reason why Garnet occupies the last spot in this list. While her moves may pack a punch, she's too slow and easily dealt with in the neutral to perform in competitive play. Relative to her poor frame data and size, most of her attacks aren't even that disjointed, which makes her neutral even worse. Garnet shines in her advantage state, where she kills you off the edge pretty easily using her side special and other attacks. Moreover, her combo game isn't too bad either. It's really just her poor neutral state that makes Garnet one of the worst options you can use right now. Moving on, the next in the C tier is the Tasmanian Devil. Taz is best known for his signature tornado move, which was spammed to oblivion in the closed alpha test. However, the Devil has faded into obscurity ever since they nerfed it. Even back then, he was overrated and was among the worst characters in the game. His other moves aren't all that threatening, with small hitboxes across the board. To make matters worse, his moves aren't too fast either, making Taz a low-tier pick in the current meta. Multiversus is well balanced overall, that's why 5 characters occupy the B tier. You may be surprised to see Raindog this high, but I believe he's currently very underrated. The character is known mainly for moving ledge to ledge and spitting out a myriad of projectiles to zone opponents out and create space. Raindog can only go so far with projectile camping alone, though. Good Raindogs know this and don't simply spam projectiles, employing a bait and punish playstyle to the mix. In truth, Raindog is the type of character who puts you in a bad spot and capitalizes on it, which he often does, thanks to his ranged normals and impressive side special, a burst option that makes punishing mistakes even easier. Raindog's main flaw lies in his frame data, making it hard for him to keep up against zone breakers. Overall, while Raindog may occupy the lowest spot in the B tier, it wouldn't surprise me if Raindog is a lot better than he appears to be. The next in the B tier is Steven Universe, a character with excellent combo potential who is ultimately held back by his frame data and range. He's definitely one of the most unique characters, possessing the ability to create platforms, a barrier to protect himself from attacks, and a minion that can help him in battle. The minion and shield are very useful, but you may struggle to see the utility in creating platforms, and for good reason. There's little benefit in having this ability. They just spawn and occasionally help with setups and recovery. Things can get out of hand when Steven gets a combo going alongside the minion, dealing loads of damage, but winning the neutral is a huge challenge for him, especially against the top tier characters. Next, we have the Iron Giant, who was one of the best characters until he got nerfed, that is. He has the age-old characteristics you might expect from heavyweight fighters. Good range, powerful attacks, tough to kill, and of course, the unfortunate habit of being comboed to oblivion and vulnerability against projectile zoner, which causes most Iron Giant mains I've seen to utilize the School Me Once perk, a perk that grants the user a projectile shield for 2 seconds after being hit by a projectile. Iron Giant's unique armor can certainly fix a lot of these issues, but players who know the matchup can simply camp and wait for his ability to end every time it's activated, which presents another issue. Iron Giant is not a rushdown character. He cannot punish opponents for stalling his ability out. His moves are actually excellent overall with great damage, range, and combo potential, and his recovery would make him hard to edgeguard if only he wasn't such an enormous target. Size matters, and in the world of platform fighters, the smaller you are, the better. The next character is LeBron James, the world-famous basketball player from Ohio, who suddenly found himself in a fighting game against the likes of Superman, Arya Stark, and Bugs Bunny. As the newest character at the time of this recording, he has yet to fully develop in the current metagame. LeBron has a lot of things going for him. Namely, he has good frame data relative to most of his attacks range and active disjointed hitboxes, a decent neutral, high weight, and a threatening kill option. His ball is amazing overall and impresses even the best characters in Multiversus. The problem lies in the way his attacks function. He's like a sword character without the speed of Finn, a big issue in a lot of key matchups like versus Finn and Bugs Bunny. The real question is, how does this placement affect LeBron's legacy? Next, we have Wonder Woman, who is probably the most balanced character in the game. She excels versus projectile zoners, using her shield and armor buff to more easily win neutral. Her sword, while small, gives her an extremely solid moveset filled with attacks that boast impressive range and frame data. Her lasso of truth is another powerful option in the neutral, punishing opponents from farther with the threat of dangerous attack strings. She doesn't really have any flaws, possessing a decent recovery to boot, but her selling points aren't too grand either. You can't go wrong with Wonder Woman, but you also can't expect her to outshine the characters at A tier and above, who possess overpowered traits. Wonder Woman doesn't have that, so it's no wonder why she occupies the mid tier. The best character in the B tier is Jake the Dog, a character I have significant experience fighting against. He has a very peculiar moveset. Since his whole body can stretch, the developers took liberties and made Jake one of the most gimmicky characters there is. What truly makes him good is his neutral state, which involves using his stretchy arms to keep opponents at bay, along with his annoying up special and down special, when enemies do finally get close. These moves can leave him somewhat vulnerable, but there's no denying that good Jake players are hard to approach and will kill you rather easily if you aren't careful. In particular, his edge guarding is probably one of the best in the entire game due to his up and down special's active hitboxes. His up attack makes recovering even harder, covering the entire ledge with a ranged attack that can kill most characters at around 120%. Jake's neutral air also comes out rather quickly. He doesn't have real flaws aside from his lower aerial drift and has various selling points. He could definitely be at the bottom of A instead, but I don't think he has much potential. In fact, I think Jake players have almost fully mastered the character. Unlike Arya, Shaggy, Finn, and others, I don't see how Jake can get any better, which is another reason why he is in the B tier. Next are the A tier characters. The worst of the A tiers is Superman, who sees a lot of use, especially among the top players. There are plenty of matchups where Superman can shine, like against Shaggy, Harley Quinn, and others. He boasts surprisingly good frame data and range. Superman is a heavyweight who is easily one of the best melee-based characters with burst options, kill options, and moves with super armor. However, he's held back due to his large hurt box and lack of disjointed attacks, which makes Superman vulnerable to ranged characters like Finn, Bugs Bunny, and Jake. Still, if you're not careful, Superman will kill you extremely early from the top by combining up aerials with his notorious up special, a command grab that sends opponents flying upward. Or he can edge guard you with his side special, another command grab, where he flies horizontally until an opponent comes into contact with its annoyingly active hitbox. While Superman may not be nearly invincible like in the comics, he remains a high-tier character with great versatility. Harley Quinn comes right after, and people might be surprised to see her in the A tier. She's got amazing frame data, kill options, and a good neutral, which allows her to play both offensively and defensively. Her explosives give her a lot of stage control throughout the match, and she possesses among the most dangerous jabs in the entire game. Those who get hit by Harley's jab experience a world of pain, as it can lead into all sorts of follow-ups. Harley Quinn's up special is an extremely dangerous kill move with a disjointed hitbox. She is also excellent at edge guarding thanks to her boxing glove side special. Really, she's got almost no flaws, other than being light. Some characters, especially at the higher tiers, can out-neutral her, which does give her problems in the current metagame. But there's no denying that Harley Quinn is always a huge threat and has room for improvement. Namely, her combos have not yet fully been refined as of yet. I'm definitely looking forward to future Harley Quinn developments in the metagame. Next is the surprise pick, Velma. Yes, I know it's a little weird for Velma to be this high up, but hear me out. Velma has one of the best damage outputs in the game. She also has a good neutral, recovery, stage control, and doesn't have any issues killing. In the right hands, Velma is a true force to be reckoned with. For a zoner, she isn't exactly easy to zone break, and I'm speaking as a Finn main. Her hitboxes are super janky, especially when she uses up special with her neutral air and normal attack. If you didn't know, Velma's kit revolves around evidence. Evidence spawns around the stage throughout the game, and some moves have a chance of spawning evidence as well. When the evidence gauge is full, Velma can literally call a police car to arrest an enemy and drive them off the map. Victims can mash out of it and escape the cops, but you won't always have enough time to escape death. Overall, Velma is one of the best zoners in the game, and she's extremely dangerous and hard to deal with at higher levels of play. Arya Stark is great in this game, and while it may not be the Game of Thrones she's used to, she excels all the same. Possessing excellent frame data, combos, and movement speed, Arya is your typical fast assassin-type fighter, which makes her very dangerous, but also vulnerable due to her low weight and status as an assassin. Due to using a sword, she has the added benefit of having disjointed attacks, which gives her good matchups against characters who lack range. Arya also has an amazing damage output with her consistent combos, although winning neutral often involves hitting her side special, which can't really be relied on. Face stealing is easy and gives her an impressive kill setup with tons of range throughout the match. Overall, Arya Stark is a very high skill cap character with tremendous potential. Arya is held back by her poor recovery and reliance on her side special, but her insanely strong combos and neutral somewhat make up for it. Arya mains still need a lot of time to truly realize her potential. I fully expect her to improve and receive tournament results in the coming months. A girl is no one, and so are you if you underestimate Arya Stark. After Arya comes Shaggy, the strongest canonical character in Warner Bros. History. In fact, Shaggy has stated in-game that only 0.001% of his power has been used so far, after transforming. This limit explains why we can't have characters like Superman fighting an entity as strong as Shaggy. We can only kneel before his power, considering this minuscule amount still places him among the strongest characters in the game. His neutral, combo game, frame data, and kill power are all borderline top tier. You're never truly safe against Shaggy Rogers, who also boasts excellent movement speed. His side special is probably the most imbalanced part about him, as it has insane range, damage, and kill power. And going off stage is a bad idea against Shaggy. As far as down aerials go, Shaggy has one of the best. It's way too ranged for its own good. Oh, and he becomes even more dangerous after transforming, giving him even greater kill power. The only way to contend Shaggy is by having an overpowered neutral, which everyone above him seems to possess. But I think it's important that we all remember, it's only possible to defeat Shaggy because he allows it to happen. Finally, we've reached the top tier characters, the pinnacle of the meta. At the last slot is Tom and Jerry, who are notorious for their campy playstyle. They have among the best neutral states, with clear answers against zone breakers like Finn and Batman. Their aerials, jab, and specials are downright impressive. If there's one character I hate fighting more than anyone, it's definitely Tom and Jerry. However, Tom and Jerry are not without their flaws. Jerry can be dealt with throughout the match to severely weaken Tom's kit. Consistently doing so can make winning tough for the pair. There's also the fact that killing isn't always so easy when you're playing Tom and Jerry. Their kill options are often situational. In the right conditions, the pair will take stocks fairly easily. But against certain matchups, Tom and Jerry mostly rely on close-ranged options to take stocks. None of this changes the fact that a good Tom and Jerry will win neutral against basically every character, which is why they ultimately deserve the S tier placement. Next is the legend himself, Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny was always destined to be the ultimate killing machine, and in Multiversus, he has a great many tools at his disposal. Rockets, baseball bats, mallets, more rockets, pies, and perhaps most dangerous of all, his devilishly charming kiss, which can stun enemies. To put it simply, he's the perfect life form. That's what being a top tier is about, perhaps, but Bugs Bunny embodies the notion better than any other character. He can rush down, projectile camp, space with ranged aerials. The rabbit's got it all. Multiversus' #1 ranked player in 1v1, Mirrorman, actually mains the character, a testament to his viability and consistency. Finally, we've reached Finn. Let's talk about him. I bet you've got a lot to say about my main. He's broken, brain dead, and Finn mains just mash aerials to win, right? Well, I take offense to that. Yes, I may mash aerials like there's no tomorrow, and yes, I do turn off my brain quite a bit when I alternate between up tilts and neutral aerials, but I promise you, we Finn mains do it with tremendous skill and grace. As for the part where he's broken, there's no denying it. Finn is a contender for the best character in the game now, and for good reason. He can quite simply adapt to any situation with his excellent frame data, range, kill power, recovery, and over-the-top combos. There is no matchup Finn can't overcome. The speed boost provides an unnecessary, albeit strong tool against much of the cast, which makes spacing against good Finn players basically impossible. There's also his gem, which allows him to recover freely and quite literally be anywhere he wants to be when thrown. And if you have the misfortune of taking a forward air at 80%, it can directly lead into an up special, which will kill most characters, provided Finn has enough coins. Finn will slay anything that's evil, that's his deal. Say anything bad about Finn, and you're evil, by the way. And now we've reached the S+ tier, which houses just one character, the Caped Crusader and Dark Knight himself, Batman. There are two reasons why Batman is so good. For one, he had prep time. Batman can overcome any obstacle with prep time. And two, his freely controllable Batarang is insanely overpowered, to the point where this one move allows him to control neutral against every character in the game. Aside from this, Batman also has powerful combo setups with his Batarang, which can lead to impressive strings. He also has one of the best recoveries in the game, burst options, and landing options. His flaw? Batman doesn't have a flaw, as he's prepared for every eventuality. That is what he would say, but the guy is plagued by a lack of kill options and low weight. He mostly relies on up special to take stocks past 120%, or far earlier if they're lucky enough to land a hit closer to the blast zone. Still, Batman can overcome all of his flaws with the greatest neutral, which is why he occupies the highest spot in our Multiversus tier list. I know many of you don't agree with the spots in our list, and that's okay. This is simply my opinion on the current meta, based on hours and hours of 1v1 matches, prior pro experience on the genre, and insight from top Multiversus players. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This is Arihead, signing out.